Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. Oh, Fran, I didn't know you weren't done. Welcome, Fran.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be back.
I missed you.
Who's been in the snow in Chicago?
You've been in Chicago?
Yeah, I got stuck in the snow. That's why I wasn't here at the last meeting. I got a 2-day layover. I got paid for it. Imagine that.
I'd be afraid to go to Chicago.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
All right,
Covered her expenses.
City Clerk.
Council member, Agency Director, Authority Member Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Underwood Jacobs. Present. Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I grew up in Palmdale, and we say here. All right. Who's doing the invocation?
Luke is.
Luke.
Thank you, council and staff, for the opportunity to pray. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to go before our Lord. Would you pray with me? Our most gracious and merciful Heavenly Lord Jesus, Lord, I thank you tonight for giving us a roof over our head when it is cold outside. I thank you, Lord, for the rain that you have brought to our dry state. I thank you, Lord, for nourishing our lands during this time. I thank you for giving us reason to trust you, Lord. And Lord, in looking back on your word, you said that where 2 or more are gathered in your name, you're there with us. And Lord, you also said that your people are the temple of your Holy Spirit. I pray, Lord, that with that on all of our hearts here tonight, you would see yourself exalted in this room, in these chambers. I pray, Lord, that you would help all of us to conduct ourselves with a purity and a reverence, knowing that you are active and present in this place. I pray, Lord, that you would help all of us to recognize that you are the ultimate authority and to take every thought captive to your joyful obedience, that we would all have our own plans and our own aspirations and our own purposes surrendered, that your will may be done on earth as it is in heaven, Lord. I pray that you would help our representatives to conduct themselves as the leaders that you've called them to be. And I pray, Lord, that every piece of dialogue that takes place tonight would be for the edification and the enrichment of our community here in Lancaster. We love you, Lord, and we pray all this in your most precious name. Amen.
Amen. So, which one of you guys is the best player? Good. You get to come and do the Pledge of Allegiance. So what's your name? Mar, how are you? Right there, right there. Yeah. Are you the best player? No. Okay.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
This is the best time to eat the almonds.
Yeah, best time to eat those almonds.
Anyone want any almonds?
So, am I on? Good. We have with us the state champions. The first time in the history of the world, a team from Antelope Valley became the state champions. And, no, Marvin, it is not the Falcons. It is Paraclete High School football team, the state champions. So on behalf of the City Council of the City of Lancaster, and I'm going to call you up in a moment, okay? and indeed the entire Antelope Valley, I would like to congratulate the Paraclete High School football team for their outstanding achievement of winning the 2016 CIF Division III AA State Championship. Couldn't they have made that smaller somehow? Being a student as well as an athlete is no easy feat. We congratulate each of you for your dedicated efforts to do your best both on the field and in the classroom. We are all very proud to have such well-rounded student athletes represent the future of our city and region. We wish you all the best with your future endeavors. It is now my pleasure to present the Paraclete High School football team with a plaque of recognition. If you'd come on up. Wait a minute, did you get cheap on the certificates? Everybody else gets a certificate. What? I need to apologize. You should be having a certificate right now. Okay, but you do get this. So, seriously, is he the best? Well, who was the most valuable player for the year?
KJ.
Who?
KJ Lawson.
Is he here?
Wait, both. Where's Casey?
No, he went on.
He went in late. No. He went in late. No. He's not on the retreat.
I was going to give him $1,000. Where is he?
I can be KJ Lawson.
All right. All right. When you see him, tell him he gets a $900 scholarship because he was late. All right. So who should I give this to? And Mark, would you come up? See, Mark dreamed of standing here with you guys when he was in high school. Isn't that true, Mark? I mean, he dreamed of it, but they wouldn't even let him stand with them at all.
May I speak?
Yes.
I did dream in 1976 when I graduated of making the trophy case. Alas, I was a very bad athlete. But as city manager, each time a team wins a championship, my name is on there. It will go in the trophy case. And now I am the leader of the class of 1976 for being in the trophy. In all seriousness, the most impressive thing about this team, believe it or not, isn't that they won the state championship. It's how they did it. Every time you read in the paper, they never said I. They talked about helping their team. The underclassmen talked about why they did it for the upperclassmen. The coach was comfortable enough to let all the team leaders talk to reporters. It didn't just come through the coach. This is truly a great group of young men that's going to go far in life. And I couldn't be prouder as an alumnus. I know that we have several alumni, Britt over there. Thank you for making us proud.
That explains a lot.
All right. So, are you the most valuable player? What's your name? KJ. I'm sorry, what? KJ. You hear you got a $900 scholarship? Okay. Good. Thank you. And we'll have certificates for you. We'll get you to the school. Okay? Good. Thank you. Do you want to bring your parents up and get a picture? Good.
Let's try to get the mayor in the middle. Everybody back up a little. We're going to center it right here. If I can get the tall in the back, tall toward the back, the mayor.
Which one is Sheldon's boy? Which one is
Oh, Coach, sorry, you're the short. Back there. That's pretty good. I can't see the floor.
You said he's in the gray. I don't see him.
Hey, come here, sweetheart.
Right in front of him.
A lot of cameras. Smiling.
I tried, but
Hey, Jason. She took this.
I know.
Thank you. Good job.
Thanks, Frank. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We credit you for coming out and visiting with Todd and getting everybody motivated.
Right, exactly.
Okay, let's take 5 minutes, okay? Okay, we're back. You know, all the stuff you see in this city, including this building, including the building, somebody had to raise the money with a bond and get the bond funded in order for us to build it. And from the inception of the city, 40 years ago, Marshall's the guy. Everything you see was because he got somebody to buy a bond. Now, how he got him to do that, I don't know, and we're not going to go into it.
Don't ask.
But if there's one person responsible for building the place, I mean, a lot of people are, but we couldn't have done anything without the money. So tonight we are proud to recognize Marshall Lynn, President and CEO of Urban Futures Bond Administration. Mr. Lynn has served as the City of Lancaster's financial advisor for 40 years. Throughout the years, Mr. Lynn and his firm have provided financial advice and bond expertise on a significant number of city projects, working in collaboration with many city departments, including finance, housing, and economic development. Mr. Lynn founded his company in 1979 and has built the firm to what it is today, serving clientele throughout California, Arizona, Colorado, and Nevada. Although he recently sold the company and will no longer be working with us, we will always value his many years of expert counsel. Thank you, Mr. Lynn. You know, he must be really, really rich if he sold that company. And old.
Whoa. That's what Brett said.
The only thing Vern wanted me to tell is the first city manager. Vern's taking credit for hiring him the first time.
Just don't say anything about you being
Marshall, you have to stand behind it.
I'll make sure to pull the mic there. Pull the mic your way.
Over here or this way?
if you go on that
There you go. Not too smart. Well, thank you so much for this tile and this plaque. Back in 1980, after we finished our first bond issue, I got the largest plaque that's ever been given out by the city of Lancaster. It was a tile about yay big. And I know that budgets are a little bit short now, so we have to cut down on the size of the tile, but this is really very extremely thoughtful for you. Mayor Parrish and members of the City Council, it certainly is an honor for me to be here tonight. And there's 5 other members, too, of City Councils that I'd like to mention. Mr. Kleiner, Mr. Hayes, Mr. Han, Mr. Jackson, and Dr. Hall. These names may not mean much to you, but these are the first 5 members that built this city. Those are the days when we met over at the high school. City Hall, I think, was an old doctor's office, and I think that Vern Lawson had a orange crate instead of a chair to sit on. I believe there's only around 3 of us that actually did work for the city. Council meetings used to last to 2 or 3 in the morning, not because they were contentious, we just had a lot of business to do. And my wife kept saying to me, "You're up there all the time. Do you have a girlfriend up there?" I said, "No, I don't." No, I don't. But this has been a phenomenal experience, and the first time in my life that I really had the opportunity to work with a city council and staff to actually start a city. And Vernon Lawson was our first manager and did all the hard work to get us going. And it was interesting that in the early part of 1978, Vernon and I went out for a barbecue lunch and decided, why don't we start a redevelopment agency? And that turned out to be one of the most important luncheons that we've ever had within the city of Lancaster, because over the years and prior to the ending of redevelopment by the governor, which I think was a phenomenal error, this city was able to raise literally hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, which we put in the project. Lancaster Boulevard is one. And infrastructure that you don't see, but in the ground, drainage and everything else. And I dare say that Lancaster would not look as good as it does now unless we had the RDA. So we're very, very pleased with that. And by the way, it was probably one of the biggest RDAs within the state of California. I've also had the pleasure in my years with you of serving as your financial advisor on every bond issue that you've done. And this city has been a prolific issuer of bonds. We've had probably over 100 transactions, not only for the city. We've done a lot of private activity bonds where we issued bonds for single-family housing and multifamily housing. And I tried to do a calculation in my mind the other day, and I believe it's somewhere around a par amount of somewhere north of $750 million worth of financing, and that's a lot of money. Over my 46 years as a consultant in local government in the state of California, I've worked with probably 150 cities, might be even more, in the cities, school districts, and counties. And I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've seen very, very good cities, and I've seen cities that are not so bad. While there are many cities in California that are well managed, I would have to classify Lancaster, not just because I'm sitting there and because I love this city, but as an accurate statement from my heart, as the best run city in the state of California. You are the best of the best. And why does this happen? Because we've been very fortunate since your founding to have terrific city councils, because leadership starts from up there. Without strong leadership, without strong council members, nothing happens. We've had a few bumps along the road, as you would, because we're a political body, but overall we've had phenomenal council members. First, the five that I've discussed, and members such as your uncle, Lou Bosigan, a tremendous founder of the city who just really, really believed deeply on what we should do and what we should be and what we are today. We've had this phenomenal people. We've had a few, maybe not so phenomenal, but that's what happens when you have a political body. And these councils have done a really, really phenomenal thing. They've been able to attract the best talent for city managers. And for a city of this size, for being in existence 40 years and only having 6 city managers, is in the top 5% of all cities within the state of California. Some cities change their managers every other year. And we've had really 6 outstanding managers and deputy city managers within the state. Vern, who pulled the actual plow for many, many years to get us going. Then had James, then had Jim. Then we had Mark and his trusted ally, Jason Cottle. And these 2 guys, I think, are just really about the best within the state of California. And let me mention, too, that when Jim was here as the manager, he had an incredible deputy, Mr. Dennis Davenport. So without all that being said, it's been a phenomenal run for me. I've enjoyed working every moment here. You are the most progressive city in the state of California, and certainly the most innovative city within the state of California. I can recall when I was 16 years old, I used to come out to Lancaster and shoot my .22 and hit rabbits somewhere along Sierra Highway. Not the case anymore. So I've been with you most of my life here, and it certainly has been enjoyable. But I'm 76 years of age now, and my wife said it's probably time for you to do something a little bit different. They have new events, adventures, and so forth and so on. I mean, when you get to be 76 years of age, when you have a roof in your hole, a hole in your roof in a house that leaks water, you don't ask the guy that's fixing the roof for a warranty for 30 years. That just doesn't matter anymore. So it's time for us and my family to move on. In summary, I wanted to say it's been a blessing and opportunity to work with you and such an impressive group of folks, staff members. You've had terrific finance directors. You've had Barbara Baswell. You have Patty over there, who is really one of the best within the state, and I compliment you for the work that you do. It's absolutely marvelous, absolutely marvelous. So everything has to an end, but it's been my honor to be with you over the last decades, and I wish you well in the future as you continue the standard of excellence that you have shown the people of Lancaster over the last 40 years. Good luck, and thank you again.
City Manager, any items to be removed?
No, sir. I don't know if you want to announce about PH2 now.
Is it 2 and 3 that we're continuing to the 24th?
2 and 3.
PH2 and PH3 will be continued. Open the public hearing on PH1. I'm jumping ahead, aren't I?
Yeah. We're over at successor agency actions.
I'm sorry, what?
We have successor agency,
Agency
new
actions.
business 1.
Well, you gave me a note. Should I skip your note? Well, it says, oh, I see, okay.
When we get to those items, we can open them and then continue them. Thank
All
you.
right, thanks.
It's tough when you have to read the note.
You're right. It is. Okay, we'll hear the staff report on successor agency, new business item 1. So how come you're the acting finance director and not the financing director?
Because I'm going to consult with you on that and recommend that she shouldn't be acting anymore.
Oh, you're going to do it this time. You know, there's an ordinance that says he has to consult with me. This will be the first time in 8 years. I just want to point that out. Yeah.
I should turn my mic off now.
Good evening, Chair Paris and council members, agency members. Before you for consideration tonight is Resolution SA 0117. It is approving the Recognized Obligation Payment Schedule, or the ROPS as we frequently call it, for the period July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018. And this will also direct staff to bring the schedule before the Lancaster Successor Agency Oversight Board at their next meeting. With the approval by the Successor Agency tonight and the Oversight Board next week, we will be able to submit the Recognized Obligation Payment Schedule to the Department of Finance before the February 1st deadline. The ROPS is what enables us to make our enforceable obligation payments for the fiscal year 17-18, which begins in July. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? Any speaker cards?
None.
Okay, is there,
I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution SA 01-17 and Resolution SA 02-17.
second that? Let's vote. It's unanimous. Council actions. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve M1.
Is
I'll second that and let the record reflect that I read the meeting minutes of December 13th.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Anything on the consent calendar we have to pull?
I think we have to pull CC4 for you. And I'll make a motion that we do the consent calendar as currently comprised, pulling CC4.
Is there a second?
Second that?
Well, let's just do it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, I'm going to recuse myself because I have property near CC4.
Okay. I need a motion and a second for CC4.
I'll make a motion to approve CC4, the First Amendment to Agreement of Consolidation Amendment with Clutter Motors.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. Motion passes with 4 yes votes. Mayor Paris abstaining.
Let's open the public hearing on PH1.
No speaker cards.
Let's waive the staff report. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 17.
It would be appropriate to close the public hearing.
Oh, close the public hearing?
Thank you.
Now is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 17-01.
Second that?
Let's vote. It's unanimous. PH2 has been removed.
If we could open the public hearing on PH2 and PH3, that would be helpful for noticing purposes.
Okay, let's open the public hearing on PH2 and 3.
And then continue it.
And we'll continue it to January 24th. Both
Thank
of them
you.
continue to January 24th, 2017. New business item 1. Let's have the staff report.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. The item before you tonight is one that I am very excited to present, and I know many are here tonight and are excited to see it before you. For the past 8 months, there has been great discussion on and effort made on the surrounding the possible expansion of the city's Prime Desert Preserve. It has been a joint effort with the community, the Antelope Valley Audubon Society, Friends of the Prime Desert, the County of Los Angeles, city staff, and last but not least, royal investors. And collectively, great progress has been made, culminating in the item tonight. Specifically, the item is for the approval of 20-plus acres adjacent to the Prime Desert Woodland, formerly known as Tract Map 60291. By way of background, the progress includes active community members researching funding opportunities, property appraisals, present and future property discussion meetings, and as you know, a Prop A grant award in the amount of $750,000, which was accepted by you at the last council meeting. And for that, we are very grateful for the County of Los Angeles, past Supervisor Antonovich and now Supervisor Barger. As well, the city identified matching funds for the purchase. And adding the final touches to the progress was Mr. Gulch, who, although is not here tonight, has a representative who did not have to sell the property, but he remained very open and willing to work with the city and agreed upon the negotiated amount before you tonight in recognition of the Prime Desert's value. Mr. Gulch has not only been a great partner, but a man of his word, and for that I would like to thank him publicly. Upon approval tonight, staff will immediately begin working with the city attorney to execute the purchase agreement and all the necessary assurances. As well, we will continue to work with the Antelope Valley Audubon Society and Friends of the Prime Desert who are here tonight for capital improvement assistance to make sure that the expansion is available to the community as soon as possible. Mayor, once again tonight, the item represents what a great community the city of Lancaster is. You charged the community with getting together, working with the property owner as well as city staff, finding funding, and they did that. And so I like to say job well done to them. This concludes my presentation. I do know that Jim Powers and both Jeff Little are here. I would like to thank both of them individually and collectively for all their hard work. And I know Jim would like to say something on behalf of Mr. Gulch.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. Jim Powers representing Royal Investors Group, and I would personally like to thank all of the people that were involved in this, the community members who found something that they really wanted and helped to make it happen. Mayor Paris, who several months ago said he was looking for workers, not talkers, to help make this happen. And as always, that we found in the city of Lancaster, there are thousands of workers and not talkers. I would also like to thank the other members of the City Council. I would like to have a special thanks to your City Manager, Mark Bazigian, who helped to bring all of this together. And then a special thanks to Toy Chisholm, who crisscrossed the state many times to attend meetings and help bring all the members together, and also to thank Jeff Little, who was crisscrossing the state in opposite directions of Toy, at the same time representing Royal Investors Group to also help to bring this to fruition. So I think it's an exciting time and look forward to the improvements that will be made. And it's, I think, great to see the 20 acres added to the prime desert woodland. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's Jeff's birthday.
Jeff, it's your birthday.
Not yet.
And just how old are you?
Well, I'm getting there.
Well, happy birthday. Patrick Satzer? Say it again.
Satzer, Austrian German, 98%. Good evening and Happy New Year to you all. All right, I'm representing the Friends of the Prime Desert Woodlands and the Antelope Valley Audubon Society. I'm the Executive Vice President. The acquisition of the 20.6 acres and expansion of the desert woodlands will complete the area designated as a priority by the City Council in 1989, in accordance with the Prime Desert Woodland Site Studies and the city's philosophy to acquiring land for prime desert woodlands. This is a huge win for the Antelope Valley, the city, and the future generations that will be able to enjoy the woodlands. It represents a path forward for the joint efforts of the city with community groups to get funding to better the Antelope Valley and the city. Miss Elise Clifford is looking down on us today with a big smile. She was a tireless environmental activist that led to the establishment of the Woodland Preserve. Here's a quote from Miss Clifford that is posted in the preserve entrance to the interpretive center. We urge that you guard the desert's future by guarding its life systems on this place, one place in the universe that mankind is privileged to know life in all its reliable requisites against the mortality that makes life ever precious for those who must sojourn here. Thank you, Ms. Clifford. The Antelope Valley Audubon Society will continue to support the management and operation of the preserve and the expansion into 20 acres. We are preparing a memorandum of understanding to formalize our agreement to support bird walks, nature walks, bird habitat improvement, and other upgrades and daily support of the woodlands. Thank you. Once again, Happy New Year, and thank you for providing me with a great New Year's gift to culminate my 10-year effort to block and prevent development of that 20.6 acres. Thank you again.
Thank you. Maria Pisano?
Just because they're acquiring 20 acres of this land, I want to know what it's going to be used for, why there is not a quality air management report done on it. It said that there was not supposed to be a air quality report done on it, that everything's all okay, it doesn't impact schools, it doesn't impact neighboring properties. And if it's going to be used for other things besides a preserve. I know that just because it says it's this parcel number or whatever, the area that I was living at also had endangered species on it. It had owls, it had hawks, it had ground squirrels, it had the little chipmunks, and they came in and mulched and destroyed the whole place. I don't believe that anybody's interested in keeping these places as a preserve. I think it's to sell it to put new facilities on there or things of that sort, whether they be prisons, jails, medical facilities, whatever. This is what they did to the last place. It's all mulched down to every tree, every redwood, everything, completely mulched. All the animals that were there have no homes or anything anymore, kind of like how the people in this town, from all the things that have been done, don't have homes. So I think it's an expansion of other things. I don't think it's an expansion of preserving it at all. And I want to know why there's the air quality management that was supposed to be done on that, why that's just, like, that doesn't matter anymore. I know that they said that there was a argon gas. Someone had taken over an argon gas section of that, which is probably why we were all doing this while we were living there. And there was also a trash, something they're doing, some deal on the, see how trash burns or something. I don't know. But these were some of the things that were done there. Now, if that doesn't affect the quality of the air, I don't know, or the people around it, I don't know what does. Does anybody say anything about that?
Well, when the rabbits came to the
Not out there anymore.
came to the hearing, nobody would say anything. It's a nature preserve. It's for the rabbits and the birds. I mean, please, come on.
Like I said, even the people, they were living on it, you know. There's none out there anymore. There's no owls out there. There's no rabbits out there. There's no anything out there anymore. And to mulch their homes and everything like this, you know. I mean, what about that? There's no...
Thank you.
And the schools also surrounding that area.
Thank you.
And it runs all through K through K-12 through...
Thank you. Don, come clean this up, would you please? Help me out here. We do a great thing. I mean, this is a great thing.
Well, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
And, you know, it's wonderful when great things happen. And this certainly is a great happening. And I want to thank the council members, and the real estate investment people. I appreciate you working with us from the bottom of my heart. Why did we want to preserve this 20.6 acres? There's many reasons, and unfortunately I don't have the time to, and I don't want to take your time, but because you know them. Number one is there are endangered species, and God gave us the responsibility of looking after those items that are scarce. But more importantly, it's our responsibility to teach. And what better area, what better piece of ground can we have to teach? It's our God-given responsibility to teach our young people how to preserve, how to take care of the birds, how to take care of tomorrow. And this is why Audubon Society fought and worked as hard as we have, and we're going to continue working as hard as we are. Because these kinds of properties are important to our young people, to our future. And it's our responsibility as old fogies, as I am, to bring this about for the teaching of our young. And that's what Audubon is about. It's not about being politically correct or politically gaining property for gain. It's not that at all. It's to preserve our country. Our servicemen are fighting, giving their lives to preserve our country. It's our responsibility as people here at home to take care of what they're fighting for. That's our biggest responsibility. And with that comes education, number one. We're working with the Board of Education in the Antelope Valley to bring in training programs for young people to where they can use that preserve. We're not only working here in Lancaster, we've got a $5 million project going in Cal City to preserve the lake up there. We're working in Holiday Lake. So we're not just here, we're in the entire valley. And with that, you folks have given us the ability to even expand our teaching more. And I thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes the speaker cards. Any comments?
I think we thank Royal Investment and everyone, but I think we need to thank Denise Latanzi for helping us get the funding for it. So with that, I'll make the motion that we approve NB1, A, B, C, and D.
I'll second.
Let's vote. The conspiracy has passed. Okay. Yeah, council reports. I pass it to you. City Manager?
Manager's announcements. We have a couple of announcements. Very proud that this week the state announced a week ago, and they'll be releasing this week, that the City of Lancaster, through the good efforts of Development Services and others, is going to be awarded a $5.3 million grant for active transportation. It is going to be pedestrian improvements around 5 local elementary schools. It's part of the state's program to improve bike lanes, pedestrian walkways, sidewalks, ADA curbs, etc. So we're very excited. We're releasing more information this week as the state gets to it. So very good announcement. We will be, and thank you to Councilmember Molly, who represented the mayor and council at the MLK Day of Service press conference. It's really a very, very good day for the community. We will be celebrating that this Saturday with a lot of work in a lot of different areas, including Sergeant Owen Park, and Bishop Henry Hearns will be hosting Justice Sunday on Sunday. So we have that coming up. For you tonight, we have 2 videos doing a little something different. We're going to spotlight 2 local businesses. One of the beauties of local government is that we get every day, you as a council and we every day get to work with small business people and see what really happens and people that put their lives and their energies and their treasures in a business. You're going to see Kira Sundance, who you'll notice from Bark at the Park, but you'll also notice that I didn't realize this, she has a very well-respected business in Lancaster, and she's a top author in the world of dog and dog tricks. And then you're going to see another video on Maribel's Bakery on here on the Boulevard. So Luke, if you can cue those up.
Did you know that Do More With Your Dog is the only sanctioning organization for dog trick certification in the world? And it's based right here in Lancaster. Today we visit with world-acclaimed stunt dog performer Kira Sundance and take a tour of her business.
The primary thing that we do is trick dog title certifications. When you earn your trick dog title, then you get certificates and you get ribbons and different kind of medallions and medals and stuff that you can win. 14,000 titles have been earned. We have 1,000 certified instructors. It's a hugely growing area of interest right now in dog sports. It's probably the biggest growing dog sport at the moment.
And then take me from the top. What happened? How'd you get into this?
I used to do TV shows way back when with my Weimaraner named Chelsea. And we were on a show on Animal Planet called Pet Star, which is like this pet talent competition. We went on the show and we won and we went to the finals and started doing TV shows and books and things like that.
I'm your host, Rover, and this is Hookstone!
So we just kind of grew into that area of dog stuff. Since then, the company has just grown and evolved into a full-fledged business. Georgie does lots of different editing around here. You could see right now she's editing the website. There's one of our certified trick dog instructors, and she's editing their bio. Eva is our graphic designer, so she does all the graphics for the web page and the brochures and the flyers and the banners and the whole thing. We have two halves of the website. This is actually the shopping website right now, where you could buy apparel and workshops and dog jewelry and collar charms and all sorts of fun stuff.
Time to go out. What's this?
Okay, so I have about 11 different books and different kit products and stuff that I've sold. The one I'm best known for is this one, 101 Dog Tricks. This is one of the best-selling dog training books of all time.
Wow.
500,000 copies in print in 22 languages, international bestseller for 10 years now. I have retail DVDs that we've done.
Best of 101 Dog Tricks. With me, Kira Sundance, and Chelsea.
Which actually earned these guys over here Telly Awards for the DVDs.
I've seen these before.
They're for one for each of the DVDs, and they're for writing and producing the DVDs. This one with JD on the front, that's actually my older dog now, JD, when she was a puppy.
Oh, here's JD. So this business really could almost be anywhere.
Yeah, it can. We don't get much like walk-in traffic at all. It's like all mail order, so we could be anywhere. This is right down in our neighborhood, but we actually love this area.
Second one.
What was it about this location up here that you like?
Well, originally, you know, what you see is the trees, the shrubbery, the beautiful walkways, and all the storefronts. There was just something that sparked, and so when it first got started, it just interested me. The patio, I originally put it in when I opened up 3 years ago, and I felt it was one of the things that was lacking from this location, but people love it out here.
Lunch is starting. Let's go take a look.
Let's go check it out.
Here it is. Okay. Can I order something?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's go the big writing on the wall. Let's go with a burrito.
I had passed by this location a few times before, passed by when it was empty a couple times, and one time I was driving by and I said, if that space goes empty again, I'm going to get it.
Tell me about the menu when you opened a few years ago and where the menus evolved.
I originally started with sweetbread, tamales, and pupusas. The year later, and I was talking to my cook, Yoli, I said, we need something else. We need to bring some more people. And I said, well, what can we do? And we were like, we got to add tacos and burritos. And since then, that helped a lot. You know, it just became more of a food spot rather than people thinking it was just a bakery. I saw it change right away. We have carne asada tacos, we have al pastor, we have birria, and we have chicken. These are revueltas, which are filled with pork, cheese, and beans. And we started doing more fine pastries like eclairs and cream puffs and cheesecake. Our cannoli's been selling like crazy lately. Yeah, we got a nice little new recipe on it, and word's going out, especially with these new Pokemon customers I got. We've always tried to put a price point that's good and that's fair and that people want to buy. You know, like our price point really for everything is about $250. You get a pupusa for $250, a taco for $250.
Nowadays, what are your hours?
Right now, our hours are from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Thursdays through Saturdays, we open till 2 a.m. And it helps because Bex is open till 2, the Cave is open till like 4, and 0 Degrees, they close till like 1. So it's becoming a little late night spot. It's been great being at this space. I'm very fortunate to have had it. I've had good support from, you know, all the business owners around me and the city, and customers have been very responsive. I got to thank my employees too. I have some that have been with me forever, and they've been rocking too.
Good job. Good production. Luke, you're doing good work. Thank you. Okay.
Did you comment on Joe's commentating?
Did I what?
Joe's commentating?
Did Joe commentate?
Enough said.
I try not to encourage Joe. We ought to just give him the budget and he can start his own Today Show. He'd probably be successful.
He probably would.
Okay. Any other announcements? City Clerk?
This is the time to address the City Council, agency, and authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Ronald Riley, Sr.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor Parrish and City Council members. I thank God that I was able to come and be able to speak, and I put in the card. I recall looking at my cell phone, and there was a prior council setting where that you spoke about Bloods and Crips, especially Bloods wearing red and children wearing red and blue, and they're to be stopped and harassed by the sheriffs, and they are not able to be rehabilitated.
Wait a minute.
You recall that?
No, I don't. You're mixing a lot of things up here.
Oh, okay.
If you would like an explanation of that, I'll give it to you. If you just want to talk, you can talk. But no, that's not what I said.
That's not what you said?
No.
Okay. Well, I also have an article that they had made for you, stating back in August 17, 2012, and it says, Parish declare war on blood gangs. This article, are you familiar with it?
No, but I'm sure I said it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just came to let you all know and to inform the City Council and you, Mr. Parrish, that I am an ex-gang member, and I have been rehabilitated. I used to be from 76 East Coast Crips, and God, as you all open up this service today, you had prayer and you talked about God. And I am a Christian. I've been a Christian for 15 years. And as I said, I have been rehabilitated from the gangs. And I was a gang member until I was 48 years old here in Lancaster. And I now have been rehabilitated, but God has blessed me to have a job. And I've been on my job at Lockheed Martin for 15 years. I will be retiring in 4 years as an ex-gang member with 4 felonies and with a security clearance, secret clearance with the government. So when I heard that statement, I went, why would the mayor, our mayor, make such a statement that they can't be rehabilitated? And there's also skinheads out here that I never saw an article about. There's also MF-13 gangs. And I'm wondering, why is it that they're just going after the Bloods and Crips when we have so many other gangs out here in Lancaster, in Palmdale, and Quartz Hill? Would you care to answer?
Are you really standing there, standing up for the Bloods and the Crips? Is that really what you're doing?
No, sir. I'm standing up here telling you and informing the council that we can be rehabilitated.
I never said you couldn't be rehabilitated. I said, wait a minute.
Last time I heard the City Council, I had it on my cell phone.
What I said was, I don't care about rehabilitating them. That's the difference. Do I think they can be? Yes. Do I think it's cost effective? I do not.
Oh.
I think we should be spending that money keeping kids from joining them.
What about the skinheads?
And as long as The first gangs we went after were the skinheads. The first gang that I went on a when we rolled them all up, what was it, 300 of them that we arrested, that I went in when we busted the doors, was Lankus, which was an MS-13 gang. The next one was the Mongols, which I had to have security for the next 4 months because they were convinced they were going to kill me. No, the Bloods and the Crips are the next ones on the list, not the first ones on the list. Make no mistake about that. Now, why don't I care about rehabilitating them? Because I just haven't seen it effectively done, given the amount of money that's being put into it. We spend nothing on keeping kids out of gangs. We spend fortunes on trying to get them out. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, it might make sense to you, but right now I'm the mayor, and I think our money should be spent on keeping them out of the gangs in the first place. Okay?
Well, I don't think no money should be spent to rehabilitate. No money was spent on me to rehabilitate me. God got a hold of my heart. I gave my heart to God. God rehabilitated me, gave me back my family, and gave me my job back at Lockheed Martin. As I said, I will be retiring from there in 4 years with 4 felonies and with a security clearance and from the government. So I do believe that others could be rehabilitated as well, just like the skinheads and any other gang member.
I agree with you.
You know, they can be rehabilitated.
I absolutely agree with you.
And no money needs to be spent.
It is not where I think we should be directing our efforts. I think all of our efforts should be spent on keeping kids from joining those gangs in the first place. And if you disagree with me, disagree with me. I mean, I really don't care.
I don't like gangs. I'm thankful that God rehabilitated me and got me out of the gang. I wish I would have never joined the gang. But that's my past. And the lady that came from Langley, Virginia, and interviewed me for my security clearance, I looked at that lady and I said, "Ma'am, you look so..." She said, "Mr. Riley," at the end of our session, I testified to her and told her how God gave me back everything the devil took from me. And he did. God gave me everything. And I looked at that lady and I opened the door for her and I said, "Ma'am, thank you for coming and thank you for helping me." She says, "Mr. Riley, there's nothing I could do about your security clearance. But if anyone deserves a security clearance, you do. For the changes you have allowed God to make in you and for you to make the changes yourself, and you're now a responsible community person, and you back to your family, you should be granted a security clearance." And as I opened the door and she walked out, she looked back and she told me, she says, "Mr. Riley, everybody have a past. So do I." I say, "Wow, a woman of your caliber?" She said, "Even a lady of my caliber, Mr. Riley." Mr. Parrish, you have a past.
No
we all
kidding.
have a past. So why not try, as I said to other men, go back and reach and help these young men, help these young women. Don't let them just go to the wayside. Take some time out and start helping rebuild them, because they don't know no better. Some of them don't. And thank you for hearing me.
Thank you.
When I have articles, if anyone cares for something, I want to print you something.
No, get them. I like it when people pass out my stuff, okay?
Would you like to have one?
Yeah, I'd love it.
Can I bring it to you?
Yeah,
Many of you members care for you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
He doesn't like to read my stuff.
I think I read it.
You know, Mr. Riley, there is some confusion about my concerns. Go ahead. You got to get there's substantial research that the reason so many young people are joining gangs is because of the stress load they experience in their neighborhood. That there's a tremendous amount of fear in some neighborhoods if you don't belong to a gang. And that's why the areas that have got rid of the advertising for gangs, which is the graffiti, which is when I first got elected, there seemed to be a pit bull on every neighborhood that some gang member had. And the uniforms, which are the red and the blue that the Crips and the Bloods wear, that we all know. And the point of it is that if we could keep those out of the neighborhoods, the kids living in those neighborhoods didn't have to live in fear. And if you lower the stress, if you lower the fear, they're much less likely to join a gang. And that's all that was about. I think children should be able to grow up in a neighborhood without being afraid. And if that means I have to be unpopular with some folks, that's what it means. But at the end of the day, the neighborhoods in this city are going to be safe places for children to grow up. I would like people to help me in that. But it will happen anyway, because we are absolutely committed to seeing that. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I've seen when I was, I would say before I gave my heart to God, and 15 years ago, 18 years ago, right there on Avenue J, I used to see a lot of skinheads wearing red. And I would go up to them. At that time, I was a Crip. And I asked them, I say, why are you wearing red? Oh, that's white power. I said, white power? Yeah, that's for skinheads. I said, I see you got on a red belt, red shoelaces in your strings, and you're wearing red shoes. Yeah, that's white power. I say, wow, I thought that was all Bloods. They say, no, we wear red. That's white power.
You don't see,
seen that?
You are not seeing those skinheads anymore. And in fact, do you all remember when this whole room was filled with bikers? Because the first thing we did was say you can't wear your colors downtown for this same reason. Now, believe me, the Crips and the Bloods, they're at the end of the line on this, not the front of the line. But if I make it a broad-based thing, it's ineffective. Nobody's paying attention. On the bounty, the reward, whatever you want to call it, that is me personally. That is not the city.
No, I know.
Okay? That is my money that I'm offering up. And all I'm saying is that if they're a Blood or a Crip in the city of Lancaster who have committed a felony, and somebody gives us that information and they are convicted, then there's $1,000. Does anybody really not want to see that? I mean, seriously, do you not want to see that?
No, but the $1,000 that you would give me, I have to take that $1,000 and try to get out of here because somebody's going to kill me for turning them in for $1,000. And that won't even help with my funeral.
Well, we hope you do it secretly.
It has been done anonymously, and some people have been exposed. But you're right, it should be done anonymously.
I mean, at the end of the day, if a person's not in a gang, they don't want to see gangs in their neighborhood. I mean, I just haven't met anybody who wants to see them. And I'm just tired of talking about it. And if there's a better way to do it, I'm willing to follow a better way to do it. But every one of those kids in this city, I am responsible for keeping them well. And I take it seriously. Okay?
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go all along.
Fran? Come on down.
Did you notice?
And Mr. Riley, I appreciate your heart. You have a good heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Did you notice the X?
Hey, somebody crossed out my face here.
Yeah, I noticed that, and you know
It was
what?
Ken.
When I had the article printed over there at Staples, I went, oh my God, I hope they don't,
Okay,
I
here
hope
we
they
go.
don't think I did this.
Well, good afternoon, or good evening, actually. Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. I guess I haven't been here for a while, so I'll have to tell you who I am. My name is Fran Sarasaris. I'm a senior advocate for seniors and for people that can't or won't speak for themselves. I was also elected this year for being Senior of the Year. And I'm proud to say that I'm glad to be able to be of help. Now Getting down to business. I wasn't here in your last meeting because I was stuck in the snow for 2 days.
You missed a great meeting.
Detroit couldn't let me out, but I had left a message with Angela, but she couldn't say it at that time because the meeting was kind of very busy. Because I told her, I said, well, tell the council for me that even though I'm in Michigan, I'm still representing you, and I'll be seeing you soon. And I also want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And so, now, my time's, I better hurry up. I wanted to commend you, Mayor, for what you're doing about the gang situation. My thing is, it all has to start in the home. And the parents are the ones that should educate their children. As young people, they're wearing these colors, red and blue, yet even in their innocence have to realize all these colors are doing is praising and advertising that the gangs are a good thing. And all they're doing is bringing suspicion upon themselves. So if they get stopped, it's nobody's fault but their own. But I came in a situation one time, I was at the dollar store, and I heard this was a young voice cussing somebody out. And I said, wait a minute, what's happening here? So I went to the other aisle around the other side. It was a 3-year-old. A 3-year-old was mouthing off these big, huge words. And I said to myself, oh my God. And the poor grandma, it was a grandma. She was so embarrassed, she didn't know what to say. But in my thoughts, I said, this child is he doesn't know what he's saying. It's because he hears it at home. And that's what I'm trying to say. They have to be taught at home first. How can anybody else help them if the parents at home don't help them first? The schools can only do so much. And once they get out of the school system, what's going to happen to them? You would try to rehabilitate them. By that time, some of them are out of reach. But it's got to start in the home, and the parents have to be, they're the ones that have to be rehabilitated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Michael Evans.
Sorry. Oh, are they hot?
So my name is Michael Evans, and I'm representing the 10,000 Fearless movement in the Antelope Valley. So, Mr. Mayor, in October, you issued a $1,000 bounty for the felony conviction of gangbangers. I came to the December City Council meeting and informed you that the 10,000 Fearless movement in the Antelope Valley considered your bounty to be unacceptable and that it will not be tolerated. I stated that gangbangers is code word for young black and brown boys and girls. And if you're serious about reducing the crime in our community, then commit that money to prevention and early intervention programs such as the Comprehensive Violence Reduction Strategy being implemented by the 10,000 Fearless movement in the Antelope Valley. And I ended by stating that we will not allow you or anyone else to target our youth. And your response? Well, let me quote you in case you don't remember. If I could do a $1,000 bounty for Crips and Bloods who commit felonies in this town and make it dead or alive, I would. I would.
I would.
Well, you can't.
Okay.
And even if you could, we wouldn't allow you to. The 10,000 Fearless movement in the Antelope Valley won't allow you to. The concerned citizens of Lancaster wouldn't allow you to. We're not going to allow anybody, Blood, Crip, Mayor, or anybody else, target our black and brown youth. Your bounty puts a target on the backs of our youth. Your bounty encourages the continued over-policing of black and brown people, which leads to the overcharging of black and brown people, forcing them to take plea deals out of fear and the lack of resources to properly defend themselves against a system that is designed against them, a system as old as slavery, itself designed to control and remove black and brown people by putting them in a cage. So I'm here to tell you that the 10,000 Fearless movement in the Antelope Valley stands against anyone who promotes violence in our community. We stand against anyone who promotes mass incarceration of the citizens of the Antelope Valley. And because of your $1,000 bounty, we stand against you. So the 10,000 Fearless movement in the Antelope Valley is leading the charge to make our community a safe and decent place to live. We are leading the charge to implement the Comprehensive Violence Reduction Strategy, a strategy proven to work in Los Angeles. And we will work with anyone who is committed to make our community a safe and decent place to live. Now, the last time I was here, you asked if we could have a dialogue. We're open to having a dialogue with you, and anyone else for that matter, but only after you publicly rescind your $1,000 bounty. Until then, we have nothing to discuss.
Mr. Evans, I will withdraw it when the bounty hunter bloods who put a $10,000 bounty on maiming any police officer in Southern California, or a $25,000 bounty for the death of a police officer, rescind their bounties. And next time you come up here crying about me using the word bounty, you might want to say something about that, because you haven't said a word about it. In fact, it makes me wonder just where you stand on that issue. But that happened in March. And what happened a month ago? I'm not rescinding anything. Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm really upset right now. You guys got me going, boy, I tell you what. About the deal with our kids being safe in this community. Our kids haven't been safe in this community for a long time. I want to talk to you, too, about that $5.8 million, but I'll talk to you about that later, about the property that was bought. But anyway, I'm, like, really upset. Our kids have not been safe here in this community for 10 years or more. You know, who's responsible for all that? Who's responsible for letting all these people in that were harassing, terrorizing our neighborhoods? We couldn't come up here. I couldn't go to anybody and give any police reports or even say anything about it. This is my beef, I have to say, with you, because, I mean, you weren't the mayor for those a few years, but you were later. I couldn't come up here and say what was going on in our neighborhoods. The neighborhood watch, the crime watch, that's all people just infiltrating in your houses and spying on you and watching you so that they could get away with what they were doing. Just like the $1,000 reward thing for the 211, you call in and say somebody's robbing you when it's them that's robbing you, but they twist it around so they can get 2 weeks vacation and $1,000. They get paid for making it seem like you're the thief or you're the, you know, one doing it. I know, because my daughter's in jail. It's very ugly. Okay, I'm upset. The schools. What happened to Prop 47 was supposed to be the Safe School and Housing Act. What happened with that? It was just a release. Now they just released a prison to terrorize our neighborhoods, really? Because that's what they did. And at the schools, and it wasn't, you know, believe me, the black kids, the brown kids, whatever, they were doing a lot of the terrorizing. They were hurting our kids, too. You can even walk home from school. I lose my job because I can't even go up there and say anything. I can't go up to the board meetings and say, look, our kids are, and the teachers are being hurt. We're all being hurt. What's going on here? Why is this being allowed to happen? And it was just, you know, you can't say anything, can't do anything. And then we get the youth programs. Oh, now we're going to, like, scare the kids into, you know, going along with the programs that they want them to do, like the free backpack giveaways. Oh, just go in, you know, to use, you know, to rob houses. I mean, that's what was going on. That's still a lot that's going on, although a lot of the kids are in jail. A lot of them were let out under the, what's the youth commission thing, where they can go in and testify against anybody and they don't get in trouble, or their parents don't get in trouble, or somebody doesn't. And so they changed that to Prop 57, which was supposed to be, we were supposed to be under the relief fund for what's happened to us, which we aren't getting. Now it's public safety, so that we don't know about anything. We don't know war has already been declared on us. And that, you know, they were involved in us losing our homes, so they could take over our homes, which, you know, I was really happy about the settlement agreement and all that, too. So many people have lost their homes, their jobs, their livelihoods, their children. And we want to know, oh, why are these kids getting, you know, hurt and beat up and in these social service homes and in these, really?
You know the rules. Thank you.
Mr. Parrish.
George Beatty, please. Oh, yes, Mr. Riley. I thought you were, okay.
I just wanted to speak briefly on Officer Owens. I knew him. I used to run from him.
Mr. Riley, I'll call you at the end, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. Mr. Beatty?
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't been here, frankly, yeah? And touch bases on the work issue. It's been brought to my attention that a corporation or whatever rallied and grabbed 130 personnel out of the Philippines, assisted them in paying for their student loans, assisted them in getting their license for RN, LVN, and CNAs, and they were placed into the AV hospital and the Palmdale Regional Hospital. Now, what kind of message is this sending our high school students that's graduating that might want to pursue the field of medical? People that are already in pursuing their field, paying for their student loans on top of getting their education for it, and there's no openings. This is brought to my attention by some LVNs and CNAs. And I'm kind of baffled. They're all in here on a 5-year contract, and they're in here with a work permit, visa, whatever per se you want to use, and they're paying for their 3- and 4-bedroom dwelling, furnished, and putting 5 to 7 in there at a time.
We don't know that.
And
I'm
just saying, what's next? Are we going to have the same type of corporation go get teachers and replace our teachers too at a lower pay?
If that happened, where if there was an import, they imported workers at the exclusion of the people who live here, we should look into that. You know, if it was a wholesale thing like that, I think we should look into that. If that occurred, we'll do what we can do. All right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just interested in our children leaving these high schools, pursuing the medical field. And if this is taking place now, like I say, what next? Is the teacher field going to be the next?
I would think I would have heard something from the nurses union, you know, and I haven't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe I can spark them to bring it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Edward Heasley.
Hello, council members and Mayor RX-Bears. I'm a student at Antelope Valley College and a student of Professor Ameka Don, a political science teacher. And I would just like to ask politely ask if any of the council members or the mayor or any affiliated members would please meet me afterwards to answer any questions regarding your time in a position of government.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
That was it. Thank you.
Okay. That wasn't so hard, was it? Cassidy Stoll.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Cassidy, which you already know. I'm also in a political science class, as he stated earlier, and we're supposed to come before you guys and ask a question. So it's kind of hard to come up with a question, and what mine I decided to regard is about young adults based on the observation of community-related activities and events and how we become aware. Like, what type of things have you guys either implemented or you thought to engage young adults in more community-related events and whatnot?
You know, I think the biggest thing we did was the Cedar Center. You know, we took that back, rehabbed it, and at least for any young adult or younger who's interested in the arts, they now have a place to develop that. As for other things, you know, we have the park situation, the park groups, and there's a lot of things available. What I think we're deficient in is making it available to people by making them aware of it. You know, like the you know, an example is it's for older adults, like, you know, we did it for geriatric people my age. And Ken. You know, like playing ping pong is really good for you cognitively. So we put together that at the parks, but it's underutilized. I mean, we got a great ping pong instructor. I mean, he's a professional quality, but it's underutilized. And I think it's, for some reason, we're not getting the message out as well as we could. But I often get this question from young people is, what am I doing for you? And my response really is, what are you doing for us?
Yeah.
You know, this is your community too. You know, I don't know of a community that is more open than us to allowing ideas and projects and things of that nature to grow and to facilitate their growth. But I've never, when I first ran, and what I say in every election is, I'm not here to do anything for you. I'm here to do things with you. But it has to be a partnership. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, but you did know that we took unemployment from, what was it, 20%?
19 point something, yeah.
19%. We're now at almost under 5. And within a year, I think that's going to be down to about 2%, which will be the lowest unemployment in the county. I think that's significant. I'm sure Mr. Evans behind you doesn't, but we do. Okay? Thank you. Cheyenne, what's this?
Yeah, she just put it in.
All right, you're late, but Cheyenne, you can come down. Cheyenne Gardner?
This guy.
Hi, my name is Cheyenne Gardner. It's nice to meet all you guys. I'm also a political science student of Amanca Don. I was just wondering if I come up with any questions, if you guys would be able to answer them after the meeting is all concluded.
After we do the closed session, then we'll be happy to meet with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Or some of us will. Frederick Bahaj?
I'm Frederick Page, student for ABC, Amanca Don. A question. That $5.5 million, it's to build better pedestrian ways, bikeways, and stuff like that, right?
What?
The grant,
Oh, yeah.
right?
So kids can walk to school.
Because that would be
What?
great. That's
Kids
what.
can walk to school.
The 5.5 million.
Okay, yes, okay.
Because that would be great. I ride my bike from my house to ABC every day, and it's like almost an obstacle course, a background.
Where do you
I
live?
almost get run over. Jay and Challenger.
I thought we had extended the bike path. Oh, you'd have to go through down L, though.
The route I found is going down Jay, all the way down Jay, on the sidewalk.
Yeah, we kind of discourage that.
Yeah, but, like I said, I mean, it's either that or get run over. I've almost been, many times. But
We have it down Lancaster Boulevard, right? We have a bike, and then we have it down L. But you do have to go out of your way. But we're putting a lot of money into.
Well, I appreciate it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And if you can do anything to make it even better.
It's different.
Because
You're the first person that said they appreciate it. That's the biggest complaint people have is what we're doing with the bikes.
Well, I use a bike, so
Yeah.
I'm happy. Thank you.
I get it. Bernice. There you are. It's Bernice, right? Yeah. Okay, good. How do you say your last name?
Romani.
Ramoni. Okay.
Hello, good evening. My name is Bernice Romani, and I am a student in ABC. And I just have one question because I'm a political science student right now, and I realized in my textbook it mentioned that young adults do not really have they don't really know what's going on in their government, especially in the local levels. And I was wondering how you as a council and mayor can help the young people become involved in politics and know how to make a change in the city.
It's the perennial question. I don't know the answer to it. I know that, I know the key is to foster as many small groups as we can and to make city facilities available to them when they ask for them. But I don't know how to make them get involved. Like I really expected the Cedar Street Theater to take off, because now you have a venue, but it hasn't yet. And perhaps, it's something to do with us, and perhaps it's something to do with the disorganization of young people. But all I know how to do is make things available. I don't know how to make people use them.
Well, not make, but, make it more clear, because this is my first time attending a city hall meeting, and I didn't really know how things work. That's why right now I barely gave my letter to make a comment or question. And this is actually my first time seeing all of you in person. So, yeah, I just know that a lot of people my age don't really know where to go to show their concerns, if that makes sense. Like, they know that there's a council and a mayor, but I feel like there's a lot of lack of political efficacy that people feel is going on.
Lack of political what?
Efficacy.
Efficacy?
Mm-hmm.
I think there is.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to hear your suggestions.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Riley.
Mayor Parrish and Council for allowing me to speak one more time. In regards to Officer Owens, as I was saying back there, I wasn't always a Christian. I was a Crip from East Coast, and God rehabilitated me. But Officer Owens, he wasn't shot and killed by a Blood or a Crip. He was killed by this guy that was from a young black man that was from.
He was affiliated with the Bloods.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Well, I was told by someone that used to let him live with him and their daughter, that he always used to walk around with a vest on and he always robbed homes. And I told him, when he told me, I said, "Why didn't you turn him in, man?" I said, "You shouldn't have never had no one living around you like that." But I wasn't aware that he was with Bloods because he was from a different country. I think it was Belizean. And but you say he was affiliated with the Bloods.
That's what I was told. That's what motivated me to do the reward, the bounty. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was a young Belizean, and that's all he did while he was in the Antelope Valley. I didn't know he was affiliated with the Bloods.
See, it would have been an easy $1,000. Would have been an easy $1,000, and perhaps he would still be in custody. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's all of it. Any comments?
I think Vice Mayor Chris was shy. He didn't go on record to say that he was reelected to the chairman position at the Air Quality District this last month. So we were productive. Yeah, he might be embarrassed, shy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
I was also elected chairman to the sanitation district for the month that Mr. Mann was not there.
Yes.
Are you being negligent in your duties, Mr. Mann?
No. My first job called me for that week of work, so my apologies. But I'll be back on point.
Good.
He's doing a very good job. I want to take note that we are paying less than surrounding areas for our sanitation use because Mr. Mann has told them to decrease the taxes on everybody and has done so. So he's done a good job.
So did I read that Mr. Ledford said we're going to be drinking this stuff?
No, I think there was a discussion about, there was a state report released about what's the future prediction of water that comes off of sanitation districts. And so I don't know if they were using it as a scapegoat for encouragement, because I sure hope they get those waterways built with that federal money and we get that water out of the north and get it to the south. So, but I mean, who knows what the rationale is behind the politicians in Sacramento for releasing that. So, well, we're going to make good use of the water down here. We'll sell it to the farmers, or wherever we can peddle it.
Okay, thank you. The City Council will now move to closed session to discuss closed session items 1 through 13. Okay, mic's hot. We're back in session.
In closed session, the council took up items 1 and 3 on the closed session agenda and gave direction to legal counsel. No further reportable action.
Okay, well now, I've already said that. City Council meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, January 24, 2017 at 5 p.m. Carol, my day is done and I'm coming home. Why we got this feedback going?